Geno Smith is not the answer at quarterback. Ashton Jeanty shows that he has it. Bring Derek Carr back, and is the Raiders' season and playoff hopes dead? Now, these are all the things that I've been hearing in the past 24 hours after the Raiders took a loss to the Chicago Bears here at home. So I thought I'd go over some of the biggest overreaction and give you guys my thoughts on it, whether I see it as valid or an overreaction. But as always, if this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love Raiders content just like this, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos like this. Now, first up, Ashton Jeanty has finally arrived. Now, Jeanty is coming off of a breakout game. This is a game that a lot of us were expecting for him to break out, knowing the Bears defense, especially that defensive line, and he definitely did not disappoint. Not only that, we got to see him with his old stance, standing straight up. It just seemed like that gave him some powers out there, and hopefully he keeps that moving forward. I mean, on the day, he had 21 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown, plus 2 receptions for 17 yards and 2 touchdowns. A total of 3 touchdowns, a hat trick. Huge game. We also got to see Raheem Mostert out there, and he looked good out there as well. The running game overall looked great, but Raheem Mostert, 4 carries, 62 yards. It's great to see that Ashton Jeanty starting to get things going. The offensive line did their thing, and it's good to see that the running game is starting to be a factor, because I know that the passing game was a whole different story, which we'll get to in just a little bit. Now, when asked about how he felt about this game, even his performance, this is what Ashton Jeanty had to say.
Feels all right, I guess. I mean, to me, it's all about winning, not personal performance, team success. So I'm more about winning, putting W's on the stat sheet than my own personal stats.
Stop the cap.
Now, come on, Oos. I know you want to say that you feel real good to go out there and do what you know you can do. You know, I know he's trying to be humble. I know he's trying to have that PR answer. And I know that it sucks that we lost this game. I mean, everybody is mad about that. But come on, it must have felt good to have 3 touchdowns to your name, man. Like I said, big kudos to Ashton Jeanty for finally breaking out. And hopefully he could continue to have this showing moving forward. I know it's just one game, and us Raider fans have been dying to see that. And I know we can overreact and just kind of hype him up a little bit, but I feel like it's valid that Ashton Jeanty has finally arrived, especially if he's going to keep his stance. I think he'll be okay. Geno Smith is not the answer at quarterback. Now, I know when the Raiders initially went and traded for and signed Geno Smith to the team, there was a lot of mixed reactions, and rightfully so. There's a lot of fans that are just excited because he's a solid, capable quarterback like me. That I was one of those fans, and then there's other fans who are like, yeah, Geno ain't that guy, man. We seen what he did over there in Seattle, had a good little run, but at the end of the day, he's not that guy. And so far this season, after the first game against New England Patriots, he has been struggling. And the turnovers have been killing us, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Now, I know that the offensive line played a part in the last game and even the game before that, but Geno Smith, the decision-making has been really sus as of late. Now, he is an accurate guy, and he does have that arm, and he could be mobile. He has all the traits to be a solid quarterback, but those turnovers are killing him. So far this season, he has 7 on the year with 6 touchdowns, and he has 2 different games with 3 interceptions. Totally unacceptable, especially for a team that is trying to compete. And we've been preaching competition all offseason long, and to see Geno Smith go out there and just kill drives with interceptions, dumb interceptions, is really frustrating, not only for the team but as a fan base watching this guy, because all the quarterbacks that we've had in the past couple of years have struggled with interceptions. And I don't know what it is, but Geno Smith doing the same exact thing. It seems like we're just seeing the same story, just with a different title. That's how I feel watching Geno Smith. And in this last game alone against the Chicago Bears, we had plenty of chances to put this game away. We had many chances to drive down the field and add more points to the board, and it should have never came down to the field goal at the end of the day. But, you know, Geno Smith struggling, throwing interceptions, killing momentum, and just relying on our defense to come back and try to give the ball back. And they did a great job, which I'll get to the defense in just a little bit. But Geno Smith, if he continues to look like this, there's no excuse for the Raiders not to bench him and move forward with a different quarterback. Who's that quarterback? I don't know. I know Kenny Pickett's going to be the next man up if anything was to happen, but as far as right now, it's not looking good for Geno Smith, and he's definitely got to clean up his act. So to say that Geno Smith is not the answer at quarterback, when you think about it right now, I think it seems valid. And now it just goes back to the Raiders not having a second option at the quarterback position to come in and back up. Maybe Kenny Pickett's that guy, maybe he's not, but you just never know. Now, another guy that a lot of people have been talking about, especially after this game, has been Derek Carr and whether or not the Raiders should bring him back. And I'll keep it 100 with you guys. I got a lot of love for Derek Carr, and I love what he did over here with the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, even the Las Vegas Raiders. But he ain't that guy. He ain't that same guy that you guys all think that he is. Of course, had a lot of great memories, but honestly, he's just another Geno Smith. At the end of his career with the Raiders, he wasn't that guy, and the Raiders needed to move on from him. I feel like just for that nostalgic feeling, a lot of people would love to have him back, and if he does, okay, but I don't see it happening. It's highly unlikely for the Raiders to bring Derek Carr. Plus, he's under contract with the Saints, so the Raiders would have to trade for him, which, like I said, I don't see happening. It is possible, but I just don't see it happening. And I feel like a lot of fans tend to forget what he did at New Orleans, a much better team with a better surrounding cast. Couldn't do anything over there. I'm trying to be respectful because, like I said, I got a lot of love for him, but I don't see the Raiders needing to do that. Geno Smith has played pretty bad, but the answer for the quarterback position is going young and finding somebody, finding a predecessor, whether it's Cam Miller, I don't know, or it's drafting a quarterback in the draft. Of course, I was one guy that was really high on Shedeur Sanders and just at least taking a chance on him to come over here and be a backup to Geno Smith for occasions like this. If Geno doesn't step up, we have somebody that we could at least trust in or have hope in to come in and step up, but we don't. And I just think that a lot of Raider fans should move on from that. That train has already passed us. Derek Carr ain't coming back. He did what he did, but we just got to move on and hopefully find the next guy. Well, I don't know where the answer is, but to say that, the Raiders should bring Derek Carr back is a bit of an overreaction. Now, I know that the Raiders came up short against the Chicago Bears and it's frustrating, but if you're looking to bounce back and win, then my bookie's got you covered. Betting on the silver and black has never been easier. Spreads, props, live lines, all in one place. And if you're new to my bookie, then you can use my promo code Samoan, because any bet that you place up to $500 is fully covered. And crazy thing is, if it doesn't hit, then it's all good because you could get all of that back when you opt in for your bet back bonus token. There's no better time to jump in than right now, so let's cash in with my bookie today. The offensive line is much better with JPJ. Now, we finally got to see Jackson Powers-Johnson back in the starting lineup on the offensive line, and I can definitely tell you it felt a lot different. The offensive line played much better in this game than they did last week. I mean, granted, that's because we're playing against the Bears defensive line, but nonetheless, it feels good to see that we have some time. They were opening up holes. They were giving Geno Smith some time out there to make some plays, even though he was throwing mostly interceptions. But overall, it was great to see the offensive line look better. Now, Jackson Powers-Johnson was one guy that we were all wanting to see back in that lineup, and we got to see him, and man, oh man, did he make an impact out there. It seemed like this dude was flying all over the place, and he was doing a great job out in the open field, even making a huge tackle when Geno Smith threw an interception. In the 52 snaps that JPJ played, he did not allow one sack, no pressures, or hurries. I mean, that just goes to show you that this dude is hungry. And I mean, if there's anybody that's competing out there, it's definitely JPJ. It's just funny to hear all the different things about JPJ, in the locker rooms with our coaches and whatnot. Like, this dude wasn't good out there. And just to see him in just the one game that he came back, the offensive line looked much better. And the last time JPJ played, we actually won a game. And we could have won this game if it wasn't for that blocked field goal, but it is what it is. I do got to give some credit to Dylan Parham, played a much better game this week. Also Colton Miller as well. And even though we're praising JPJ a lot, we all got to realize that the Raiders actually ran the ball with Ashton Jeanty towards Colton Miller and Dylan Parham. So they did their job throughout the whole game, allowing Ashton Jeanty to break out in this game. Now, the biggest thing that I'm really worried about this offensive line is Colton Miller and the injury that he sustained at the end of the game. We know that Colton Miller is our best offensive tackle, our best offensive lineman overall. And to see him go down, man, my heart dropped because I was like, damn, man, our offensive line needs as much help as they can get. And if we lose Colton Miller, that's a huge blow. Now, according to Ian Rappaport today, he broke some news tweeting out that Colton Miller, who limped off of the team's final drive, is believed to have suffered a high ankle sprain, sources said. He's having an MRI, but that is potentially a multi-week injury. Oh my goodness. We do not need to miss Colton Miller at all, man. But I hope, I got a lot of prayers and hope that he's good and it's not that serious and he doesn't have to miss too much. And I'm also going to pray for this offensive line as well, because man, oh man, we cannot afford to lose any of the starters on the offensive line. The defense is actually good, especially Max Crosby. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Last week, the defense really gave up, but for the most part, I said that this defense has been that bend but don't break type of defense, and they definitely continue to impress in this game, especially against a Bears team who went off against the Cowboys just last week. And the guy that I was really looking forward to watching in this game and was expecting a big game out of was Mad Max Crosby, and man, this dude did not disappoint out there. This dude dominated dominated, had a huge performance, had 5 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections, 3 pressures, 1 interception, and a forced fumble. Maus was all over the place. It was great to see that he finally got an interception, the first in his career, and being in the stadium and seeing that play go down, man, definitely turned the tide and definitely turned the momentum for the Raiders when things were just not going our way. And when I said that Max Crosby was a tone setter, this dude set the tone in this game. Even so, that Caleb Williams praised him, saying that he's the best player that he's ever played against.
They got a hell of a player over there. He's probably the best player that I've ever played against so far in my career.
Moving forward, I know for a fact that I'm not going to be really worried about this defense. I'm happy that we got a defense like this. It's up to the offense, though, to match that same energy. Because if they can get things going and the defense continues to play the way they did this last Sunday, then I feel like this team can turn things around. The season is over and our playoff hopes are dead. Now, yes, it does suck to lose yet another game like the way we did. Of course, the most Raider way to lose, and I've stated it many times, especially being in the stadium, it was tough. It was hella tough. The Raiders now fall to 1-3. We have 3 straight losses on the season and most likely last in the AFC West. But is the season over? Is our playoff hopes dead? No, it's not. It's not at all. I know it's been a really rough start, but the season ain't over just yet. There's been multiple teams that started 1-3 to make it into the playoffs. And recently, we've seen the 21 Eagles, we've seen the 18 Colts, and we've seen the 2015 Kansas City Chiefs all make it to the playoffs after starting 1-3. And it's just one thing that just clicks and things just start going. And that's what we need. And I will say that even though we lost, Geno Smith had a terrible game, throwing 3 interceptions, frustrating. Outside of that, all facets of the game, we played much better this week than we did last week. The defense played lights out in this game. The running game was great. We had no running game all season long, but Ashton Jency, Raheem Mostert did a great job carrying the run game. The offensive line did a much better job, especially with JPJ back. Outside of the turnovers that we had, this team played a lot better and competed. Now, if we could clean things up, if Geno Smith can clean his shit up, if the offensive line can continue to block as well as they did in this last game, even without Colton Miller, we have a chance to turn things around, and it only takes 2 to 3 games to win in these next couple of weeks to turn the season around and at least have a chance. It's not about how you start the season, it's how you finish. So to say that the season is over, I think is still a bit of an overreaction, and I totally understand why a lot of people feel the way they do, because we just hate losing, even though we support a team that continues to lose every single week. But I say that to say that there's still a chance, Raider Nation. That being said, what are your thoughts on some of the biggest overreactions? What is your biggest takeaway from this game? Do you have hope in this team still? Do you have a little bit of hope in Geno Smith? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until the next video, this is your boy Some More Raider, and your boy is, yeah.